All right, straight to Algeria, who are poised for early FIFA World Cup qualifier. Algeria cruising in their group with 18 points and could book a ticket to the 2026 World Cup as early as match day 8. Bagad Boneji and Riyad Mahrez are leading the charge. How big would early qualification be for Algeria's preparation for the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
Breath of fresh air. They can relax and actually use the other two to get more talent for their national team in the World Cup. So that's the best way to go about the World Cup qualifier. Not that you start beating around the bush.
And not going to calculators like One
Honestly,
Nation.
it's terrible when you have an easy group. It is an easy group. See, the minnows can only start raising their heads when the lions are asleep. That is just the fact. If the lion is in the forest, the minnows will find where to hide. So when the lion is behaving like a lion, then the minnows will behave like minnows. It is when the lion is not behaving like a lion that the minnows will now come out and try to show their ugliest. And that is why Nigeria, you have to just look at the fact that Nigeria is really, really dropping down in that level of lions in African football. Maybe they are just going back, I don't know, maybe to a minnow again.
Okay, Paulo, talking still on Africa. So, which African nations looks best equipped to go furthest at the 2026 World Cup?
You don't take anything away from the one that went as far as I think to the semi-final. That's Morocco. Yeah, and if you look at them right now, also
they're still looking good. They're still looking very well.
They're flying high. They're not softening the bed at all. And the likes of Algeria. Also, Algeria has always been, when it comes to having players, if they are one of the best players. Even the likes of Riyad Mahrez, though some will say is aging now, but
he's actually aging.
Yeah, but I still believe they are good. But for Africa, I think Morocco is still the best bet.
Okay, it's left to say if Morocco still remains the African best bets at the FIFA World Cup. Don't forget they got to the last 4, but they've been struggling to win the African Cup of Nations since then. They are also the African Cup of Nations this year, and they'll be looking to go one step further and winning it on home soil. Now straight to Africa, where we have a packed African World Cup qualifiers. September is stacked with over 15 World Cup qualifiers across Africa, including the blockbuster the Nigerian Super Eagles against the Rwanda clash that could reshape Group C's standing. Who has the edge in this, Nigeria or Rwanda?
When you go by stats, Nigeria has not won a game in the World Cup qualifier at the
Nest of Champions.
At the Nest of Champions. So the stats have said it. So even the team below Rwanda also got a point from there. So at that kind of venue, anything can happen.
Earlier before coming on this program, we're talking about South Africa and some of the things. Yes, South Africa earlier on today pushes themselves a step further to booking the qualification for the FIFA World Cup. They are also in the Nigerian group. They defeated Lesotho 3-0 in a away fixture, which was played on the South African turf. Nigeria will be looking to also get a victory over Rwanda tomorrow at the Nest of Champions. Which African team are you most excited to watch during this international break?
Well, mentioned Morocco earlier on, and including South Africa also. You look at how South Africa have been playing; they've been dispatching, teams that Nigeria are finding very difficult to beat. They've been dispatching them with ease. Though I still have a reservation about South Africa, those matches, because almost all those matches have been played.
Rwanda, Zimbabwe, all their own tough, all their own games have been played in South Africa.
Out of 6 people from the group, you haven't, except from 2,
Nigeria and
Benin Republic. That means the remaining 4 are all playing in South Africa. It gives them advantage. You don't travel. They come once they land. They train in their own. Whereas the other countries are.
But is it who is to blame?
Yeah,
since they are tough, since they don't have equipment, they don't have facilities in their nation. They have to find. Benin plays their away game right there in Côte d'Ivoire, in Ivory Coast. Yeah. So I don't think it's really a big problem for those nations. It's an agreement before coming into the competition proper. It's just about Nigeria finding an excuse when they didn't do the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, that's one excuse we can also count on. But I think CAF should come out, though it has happened now. But I think going forward it should stop, and Nigeria should make a stand. We are a big nation when it comes to football in this country, and we should be having a say in this kind of matter. We shouldn't just be sitting behind. can you allow a South African team, having out of the six teams in the group, 3 plus South Africa will be playing their own matches in South Africa. Why not take those other matches away to other countries? As if those countries cannot, host those games in their own country, look for countries that are not playing, that are not in the group. I don't think anywhere in Europe would allow such thing to happen. I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, so the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be playing tomorrow against Rwanda right there at the Nest of Champion Goswe Akpabio Stadium in Akwa Ibom. We'll be in the studio of Premier Sport Fan Center to give you analysis and watch along of that program, so you can join us at 5 p.m. Nigerian time tomorrow to have a feel of what is going to happen in that game. Will Nigeria be getting another victory, or will there be another draw? Because they've actually drawn 4 games in this qualifiers. Really a shamble one for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We go straight to the AFCON 2025. The venue rundown. Yes, we're just months away from the 35th African Cup of Nations in Morocco, running from December 21 to January 18 across some 9 stadiums in 6 cities. Excitement is building for what promises to be a spectacular tournament. And which teams are early favorite for the AFCON 2025 glory?
Well, I think it's still the host country, because the last edition was also won by the host country, talking about Ivory Coast. So look at Morocco, not just because they are the host country, but because of the way they've been playing the last 4 or 5 years. They're a team on the rise, and you can't take anything away from that. Aside from Morocco, there's also Senegal. Senegal, they have a very good team, a very good squad, and I won't be surprised if they actually go ahead and win it.
What about okay? You can go.
I think that I won't told that like Senegal is on the decline. Morocco too has not covered themselves in glory past the African Cup of Nations. They've not really looked convincing. The World Cup, playing at the World Cup is different from Nations Cup. The World Cup, they could be conservative, pragmatic, because the other big teams are bigger than they will attack them and try to find spaces to operate. But in Africa, they have to be explosive because they are one of the big names in Africa. So it's like the problem Manchester United had under Erik ten Hag. So they had to, take the game to the opponent. So look at how they fared in the last Nations Cup. So I think if they are going to fare well, they need to improve a whole lot. But you can't take it beyond Egypt. You can't take it beyond currently South Africa. You can't, because South Africa is knocking on that door very closely right now. Forget the fact that they are playing at home. They still have to show up and play. Nigeria is playing at home and dropping all 3 points. So you have to play on the field. Forget home advantage. As far as I'm concerned, in football, home advantage is not really as effective as it used to be. Now you just have, because there are television, there are screens, you can't intimidate fans anyhow, or else the armor of CAF and FIFA will come hard on you. So when you look at it, you have to play football. South Africa is playing football. You need to go and see them play. Look at the Nations Cup. Nigeria had to defend at this point whereby pressure, you know how many people died from that game. The pressure was it because they took the game to Nigeria. So you can't take it past South Africa. Egypt is there, and also Algeria really flying out.
Okay, I'll wait till December to January schedule affects European clubs losing key players mid-seasons. I think the EPL will be having a break around December. There's no festival of football in EPL anymore, so I don't think that should be a big problem for the EPL.
I think EPL is January.
Okay, January.
Where it's spread
Yeah.
across.
That's when the issue will actually be.
Spread.
So how is this going to affect these clubs?
I think it always affects them. You saw Alex Ferguson era. He hardly wants to get African players because of the AFCON. December, January is a decisive moment for the Premier League winners. So I think that they'll just find a way around it. Probably why Chelsea didn't go the Osimhen way to have 2 Africans lead the line, not knowing that they will actually lose the 2.
Okay, it's left to say as we await on the African Cup of Nations, will it be Ivory Coast defending their titles, or will it be Nigeria surging the Ivorians as the next champions? Nigeria currently have the most expensive team setup in Africa, so it's left to see if they can finally put their hands on the big titles.